It should start up momentarily. Everything else is going. And we will go from there.
There we are.
Okay. And lock. And there is that. All right. Well, hey, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're back. It is the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast Patron pre-show. Hey, guess what? If you're watching the video, literally yesterday, I went to start up the Geocaching podcast and noticed that the Google gods has blessed us with, not just us, other people that do Hangouts. The Hangout toolbox is back, which means we now have, and what would have been extremely helpful last week or 2 weeks ago when we did episode 200, we now have the bottom thirds, and we now have the custom overlays that we can put in, which makes things a whole lot easier. So
you don't have to look at us the entire time.
No, you can see stuff, which is great because what can I say? But yes, thank you to Google for after. It's got to be 8 months.
That's a long time
since we had overlays in bottom thirds. Thank you for bringing that back. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. Did you want anything to the fine folks for since 2 weeks ago? Wife Amy had her decided to have a baby epidectomy.
Oh my
God! Which was literally last Saturday.
Yep, last Saturday, because I got up Saturday morning after suffering all night and went to urgent care. She pushed on my stomach, my abdomen,
and you punched her in the throat.
And I grabbed her hand and started crying.
Yes,
as the worst pain I have ever felt in my life.
Wow.
So thank you, everybody, for your well wishes.
Yes, it was very nice, very pleasant and sweet of everybody for sending in the prayers and the well wishes. We greatly appreciate it. And so how are you doing?
Better.
Yes. She has been more active.
Yep.
And it's one of those things, Amy does not like to stay in one spot for any given amount of time. And after, a week, she was able
not
to
even I was getting up and doing stuff, and then my body was like, no, you need to sit your butt down.
Yeah, so it was literally one of those things where she started organizing stuff.
Yeah, my side of the closet.
Yes, her side of the closet.
That took a while because I kept having to sit down.
That scared me because when I came home,
and I had 2 bags to go to Goodwill.
Yeah, and she says, "Oh, look, all the stuff that's going to Goodwill." It's like, you didn't touch my stuff. Please tell me you didn't touch my stuff. Please don't touch my stuff. And she didn't. Nope. I was very pleased.
Nope. I could have.
You cleaned up your closet.
My half of it.
Your half of it. Mine's still
messy,
relaxed,
and disorganized,
relaxed, and so
that's a understatement. I still want to get in there and organize it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I know.
Oh yeah.
See, that's the thing with guys. I don't know how I can't say all guys because it's not all guys, but I know with a large portion of guys, no touchy to stuff. Now, I've got things that have, some type of personal, sentimental reasons for keeping it. And then other stuff is just stuff I've stopped the corner and I want it.
Hoarded.
Yeah, well, that too.
Is a good word.
Yeah, that's true.
So I started to take all of it out.
Yes.
And slowly put some of it back.
Right.
I know what not to touch and what not to.
But you see, I'm usually pretty good.
I should take a picture and show you guys.
I have a lot of geocaching stuff. I've got a lot of geocaching stuff.
Yes, you do.
I admit that.
Yes.
Lots of geocaching stuff. The cache stash dungeon is in that section. So there's a lot of stuff from there. And then there's also like clothes.
Here's a Christmas ornament that I could see visibly just standing there. There is no reason for a Christmas ornament to be in the closet.
That's where I stored a lot of my Christmas stuff before I met you. I've got several boxes that I have in the upper
Okay,
section.
that can go in storage.
No, they're
Yes.
delicate things that you don't want to have broken. That go.
Is somebody going to go in our storage unit and bash them so they break?
No.
Okay.
But you never
then
know.
They can go in storage.
You can. There's stuff.
Yeah, you got to go to work.
All right, and then I do have the one box that I still can't get at yet, just because I can't open it. Is from my mom.
Yeah.
And she's given me my mom for Christmas.
That stuff I get.
She
your dad's
owned
stuff,
Hallmark
your
stuff, like
and all that.
First series Hallmark stuff. She probably had, and I'm not over exaggerating, she probably had $10,000 worth of Hallmark stuff by the time she passed.
That's so expensive that doesn't take long.
No, it doesn't. And I got a large box of that back when my dad died.
Okay. Well, that stuff I get.
Yes.
Your Star Wars stuff.
Oh yeah, my collectibles,
fine,
no
whatever,
touchy.
Whatever.
I've got a couple of crates of stuff.
Yes, you do. And
yes, I do.
But some stuff can go in storage.
There really isn't that much. There is, and you
again.
had the same
I'm
problem.
taking this picture.
You had the same.
I can get
problem
rid of stuff though.
You had totes and totes of totes and totes of totes and totes of clothes you wore in high school.
Yeah, I did.
And
I hated high school, so I don't know why I kept it.
So it was like
stupid.
They may come back in style, retro, someday. Bell bottoms, I'm just saying.
Some of that stuff, women keep clothes because I'm going to get back in it one day.
Right.
No, my fat butt is not going to get into those clothes ever again.
As I'm never going to fit in my size 38 blue jeans.
Right. That can go to Goodwill.
Maybe.
No, they can.
They're
I got 2 bags of my stuff.
Mystical cloths.
Whatever. I've got 2 bags of my clothes that are going to Goodwill.
Uh-huh.
I could have snuck some of yours in. You'd have never known the difference.
No touchy.
And throwing away some other stuff that has holes in it.
No, see, that's relaxed. Women do not understand relaxed.
Yes, we do, and it's not got holes in it.
When we go through stuff, and Guy gets, when you have your favorite T-shirts, your favorite jeans, your favorite shoes that you like to wear, those are comfort things. They've been worn on purpose to get to this point. And it's like, no touchy. Women, it's like, oh my God, it's got holes in it. Yes, it does. It's good stuff.
No.
I'm telling you.
You've got, okay.
Women don't get it. They'll save 500 pounds worth of stuff for that they'll never touch, but they don't understand the stuff that we enjoy to wear.
If there is holes in your underwear.
No, see, that's
throw
relaxed.
it away.
The rule is if 2 of the 3 original elastic bands are still intact, they're still good.
No.
You've
got tons of other stuff you can wear.
No. This isn't going to get into you wanting me to wear boxers now, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
She's like, they had a commercial on TV. And it's like, oh, boxers, you'd look good in that. No, I'm sorry. I'm a little more free-flowing when it comes to stuff.
Yeah, and that ended the conversation.
I'm just saying.
So, yeah,
comfort.
I don't understand why you have to wear things with holes in it. Now, I'm not asking my dad because he does the same stinking thing.
It's a guy thing.
But he wears an undershirt with holes in it. If you're old enough to remember when men wore undershirts.
Right.
He wears that with holes in it.
Nobody's going to see it.
To town.
Yeah, nobody's going to see it.
No, that's his shirt.
Okay.
His undershirt is his shirt.
He's a country boy.
Well, he doesn't care.
He's
my mom has a stroke. I'm like, Dad, put on a shirt. Why? I've got a shirt on.
That's
right.
No,
you don't. It's an undershirt. Undershirt is named for a specific purpose. It goes under something.
Yeah, well, whatever. That's,
Yeah, I'll be home without you.
I'm just saying. It's like, They just don't get it.
You never even miss it. You would never
No
miss
touchy.
it.
No touchy. I can guarantee right now, for the people either listening to the podcast or watching the video with something like that, if you're a guy, you have stages of favorite clothes. In other words, favorite t-shirts. You've got your top 3 t-shirts that are your go-to no matter what. Yeah. That have different degrees of awareness to it.
Yeah. See, I'm in the minority here.
Yes.
Because most of I'm assuming, I don't know, we've never done a tally, but that most of our viewers are male.
No,
I don't know why I assume that, but
it's actually surprisingly we have almost as many women as we do men.
Okay. Still, almost is still the minority.
Okay.
Okay.
I got you.
So
it's a big minority though.
Yeah. But most married women or women in a relationship or whatever, if they want to clean out your closet, they're going to do it.
No.
And they will get rid of one thing at a time.
Sneak it out.
And you never even miss it.
Oh, no, because eventually we'll have where's my such and such? And it's like, where I can't find
I don't
my
know.
such and
Is it
such.
not in the closet? This is not my first rodeo.
So, guys, if you're in a relationship with a woman, itemize your stuff. Get little numbers out there and put it in a little book and itemize.
Miss it. You've got clothes in there you literally cannot wear.
Yes.
Literally cannot fit in.
But eventually I might.
See, now you sound like a woman.
Yeah, but those are specialty things. Those are like my Hawaiian shirts. I've got a bunch of back before I went.
Okay,
tie-dye.
I wouldn't get your Hawaiian shirts. Whatever, that's your thing. Whatever. The 38 jeans.
I don't have a pair of 38 jeans. I am a realist.
In that closet.
There is no extra jeans.
So
in
if
there
I clean that closet out, I would not find a pair of 38 jeans.
No, ma'am. There is no jeans in there that you're going to find that I can't wear that are in there.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
shirts, however.
Shirts, I've got t-shirts that are size 2X that I know right now. It's kind of like putting that, yeah, she can wear them now. So that's it. And that's how that goes. She can wear them.
Well, where are they?
They're in there.
Oh, don't worry. I'll find them.
I have to admit, there are a couple of boxes in the back corner that I haven't opened since I moved here.
I'm shocked.
I have no idea.
Kind of like the closet that you covered up with fabric in here that you haven't opened since you moved in.
I've opened it a couple of times.
You have no idea what's in that closet.
There's a whole we're in the studio.
A spare bedroom.
And in the studio there's a closet area.
Yeah, he hasn't even opened since he moved.
You know what's in there? Computer components. That's where I put all my stuff that's outdated and what have you. I put in the corner.
She will go looking, you know.
Yes, she will.
Yes.
She will go looking.
Yeah, he knows. So yeah, I mean, I don't touch anything in here.
Right.
Nothing.
Right. Which
this
is wise.
Your thing.
Yeah.
Your room.
I get one room. Dang it.
And this is it.
I get one room. And that's
I cleaned
how it works.
out Giannis's old closet.
After she moved out.
Yep. She had piles of clothes. I found dishes in there.
Well, yeah, she was a teenager.
I'm like, all right. So cleaned all that up. The first time she walked in there, she about lost her mind.
Oh, yeah.
What is this? I said, okay, 1, chill. 2, I didn't throw away none of your mess. I cleaned it up. This is what a room looks like clean.
It's not lived in. When you live in a rat trap for
oh my God
6 years, you don't want clean.
Yeah, clearly she did not
it's
want
like
clean.
Cockroaches. You just
I was afraid.
scurry.
I was afraid I was going to find something alive, but yeah.
Dishes, huh?
Yeah, dishes. They were, I mean, fortunately empty. She ate all what was in there and then just left the dish.
Well, I
like,
do
wow.
I do remember stories of my dad at one time. They went through and he cleared out, I was living at home And they were just for the hell of it trying to clean stuff up down in the basement and stuff. So they just wanted to randomly go around and check my room and clean it out. Apparently back when I was in my pizza days,
They found pizza, didn't
they
they?
found not pizza.
It was pizza.
No,
Was it originally pizza?
No, it was not originally pizza.
Okay.
Ish.
Uh-huh.
They did find though under my bed, and I just got into the habit, never thought about it, was all the pizza boxes that the pizza came in.
Uh-huh.
That
Did y'all have a bug problem?
no, I didn't. I was fine. Never had a rat or a mouse or things like that.
Or roaches or
Roaches or
ants
anything
or
like
anything?
that. But the boxes were apparently nicely stacked underneath my bed.
Lord.
When you're a teenager, what do you
Oh,
think?
I know.
I mean, you know.
It was just funny to go through all her stuff and her come in and go freaking out. And I'm like, okay, seriously?
Yeah.
Your stuff's still in there.
You know,
it's neat now. You don't recognize it.
It's funny, Georgia Rocket Man, with what he was talking about when you finally moved and you had more cups than you could deal with.
Yeah, your parents
We
ended
had
up
the
having
same thing.
Yeah. I'm like, where did we get all these cups from? I didn't know we had so many.
I mean, a lot of them too were from, like, for me, for work. When you work in IT,
yeah,
you get a cup just about every time you go to a new place and do stuff. So I had all those.
So that's something else I got to go through is all our cups.
Yeah,
and
we still
pack
have
those
a ton.
things, some of them up and put them away because really, 2 individuals cannot go through this many coffee cups. Like, oh, holy cow. Yeah, that was
part of it.
That was crazy. I found her ROTC stuff from high school.
Oh, yeah, there's lots of stuff.
I can't throw that away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I found badges that she had.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
her
it was
old computer that she claims doesn't work.
Right.
But now her computer at home is not working. So,
yeah, I got to get hers going again. That's another thing on the list. But yeah, it's just how it is. You go through and just
you find stuff you knew you had, but you couldn't remember.
Yes, when you're cooped in and there's no place where you can go and you're just stuck, you clean apparently. And yeah.
Hey, the dishes were done every day, swept every day.
I have to admit the sweeping was better.
Yep.
I usually do the dishes though.
I did the dishes every day. You never had to do a dish in the week and a half I was out.
I've done some.
Not while I was out.
I just did one just now.
Honey, I was at work today.
Okay, that's fine.
Not while I was out. You did not.
I seem to remember things slightly different.
Of course you do.
You were on drugs. What are you talking about? You were on cloud 9.
I still have some.
10, 18, 36.
Yeah, I was asleep.
Yeah, you were out.
That's what that does.
Yeah.
Only one didn't do it for me.
You may have dreamed doing dishes, but I seem to remember doing all the stuff.
Oh, no, friend. Yep. Cleaned out the closet, swept. I didn't want to do the vacuum because I didn't know how I was going to do with weight and stuff.
Right.
And the litter boxes.
Yeah. But you're like almost normal now, sort of.
It's so exciting, isn't it?
It is.
I'm still not going to lift anything at Lowe's, so
right.
At my part-time job, so
right.
Because I want to wait for that. But
when do you actually go back to that?
Saturday.
Do you really?
Yeah, 11 to 3.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so I still don't work as many hours.
No, and I don't want you to.
No, and our HR person didn't either.
Right.
She said, "Okay, we're going to do this for 2 weeks." I said, "Well, I can come back normal next week." She said, "No, we're not going to push you. You're coming back for 4-hour shifts for 2 weeks."
Right. Which is what it should be.
All right. So she's holding me back.
Yeah,
so.
She is.
She's holding me back.
Okay.
And you're probably going to be glad.
Yep.
But anyway.
So anyway.
Enough about my adventures.
Yeah,
with
folks.
my
Thank you.
Appendix.
Yeah. So this is, if you're new, welcome. GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast, patron pre-show, where we just basically talk about stuff and go on. What'd you think of the contest? We were going to give that away tonight. The How to Puzzle book.
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think you decided that while I was in the hospital.
Yes. And I wanted to give it away. It was actually donated to us, and we'll go into details of that. But I want this book. So if you want to put down for HeadHardHat's Christmas list, this is an amazing book.
You need to start your Christmas list.
I can do that.
I've already got my Christmas list.
And this is by Cully Long, who we've actually had on the show before. And it's an amazing book on how to do puzzle caches. And this was donated to us by one of the people in the GeoSnippits universe, and we'll go over that in a little bit. And it's just an amazing book. Everything you possibly want to know about doing puzzles.
I just saw a phrase in there that says "keep at it."
Yes.
As in, don't give up.
Don't give up. And there's just so much stuff in here that I want this book. I've wanted this book since Cully got it out. We've given them away as prizes.
Yeah, he never keeps one.
And I want one.
I know you do.
So that's one of the prizes that we're going to give away.
He's going to Nova Scotia this summer.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Apparently. Cool. I want to move to New Zealand.
I don't think New Zealand is as all paradise as we kind of presume it to be.
Nothing is paradise.
No, not without money.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We don't have that kind of money.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know anybody has that. Well, I know one person that has that kind of money.
Right.
It's not us.
Uh-huh.
She's one of my mom's best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Of course she is.
Is she adopting?
I've often wondered.
Please adopt us.
Please adopt me.
Yes.
She's a sweet lady there.
That's it. So anyways, that's what we do with the pre-show. We just kind of get stuff ready for the show to do, and just talk about stuff that's going on. And of course, the last thing that's had any major impact on us, including not doing the show last week, was Amy getting her appendix out. And
it was angry.
It was angry. It was inflamed. It was so angry.
It was.
Was not perforated.
Nope.
But angry.
They said, "Wow, it was
good times."
Good.
Yeah, we timed it right where it's supposed to. And Amy actually sat there and said on Friday, the Friday before, "I don't feel good."
And my stomach's killing me.
Yeah, and she's like, she sort of had something like a feeling like that a few years ago.
Before we got married.
Married. And so she thought, well, maybe it's that again. So
I ended up in the hospital for that too.
Yeah, at 3:00 in the morning.
Yep.
I was there.
Not
so she sat there and said on Saturday morning, if this is still as bad as it is, I'm going into urgent care. And so I went off to work. Mm-hmm. And about 15 minutes later, guess what? They want me to go to the hospital. So
I was like, can you drive me? Because this is really getting bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So we went through, and it was an adventure.
And my mom drove almost an hour to come stay at the hospital for a while.
So it was one of those things, and we ended up spending 3 days in the hospital.
Well, 2.5, because I was there Saturday night and Sunday night.
And then most of Monday.
Almost Monday night.
Don't get me started. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But everything's safe.
Man had another emergency surgery. It's not like he could help it.
I'm not going to get into it. I'll get on my soapbox. So I'm just saying, I thought certain things could have been handled more efficiently, quicker, and with less overall grief. And I'll leave it at that. So anyways, she's fine. Everything's cool. We got her home. And there we go, full circle. So that's what happens in the pre-show. We talk about stuff that's going on.
Means nothing to geocaching
and
whatsoever.
Geocachers out there go, oh wow, I remember stuff.
Somebody asked me if I was going to go geocaching.
We did.
And we did. We got one geocache.
The day after you came home, I was out. Yeah, I was cutting. It was that Tuesday.
Are you cutting the front yard?
I was cutting the front yard,
yes.
and then I was listening to one of the podcasts.
Yes.
And went, oh shoot, we got to go out and get a
He said we got to go get a geocache. I said, are you serious right now? He said, well, we got to get our souvenir.
Yeah.
Okay, so I packed me and my little pillow.
Yes.
For my stomach.
And we luckily there's somebody started a county geo trail. So there were a couple of choices that were within 5-6 miles from where we lived.
Yeah.
So that was nice. It was not. It was a little more than a park and grab, but not much more than a park and grab.
Right.
So one of those type things. So yeah, we got our souvenir for 17 years of geocaching.
I'm like, are you serious? I just had surgery, man. I can't go caching.
I'm telling you. All right.
We did.
Yep.
Sorta.
Good stuff. All right. I think we are about ready.
And they're probably tired of hearing about my surgery.
Yeah. I think it's time to move on. So I am going to do this. We now have overlays again. So, haha.
Look at that.
Isn't that cool? All right. So we're recording. Everything's running. And I'll talk about the iPad 2 situation we had in a moment. But here we go. So sit back, relax, get your favorite libation, your favorite snack. The GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast is coming at you right about now. Well, hello, and welcome. Welcome to the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. I'm your host, Andy HeadHardHat Smith, and I am here with the wonderful, the delightful, the DeWitty, the D-appendix-sized wife, Amy. Yes, that's right. She got it taken care of. She had appendicitis. Go figure.
I didn't have time for it, really.
No, it was kind of an awkward time of the week, and we were just not really.
I'm like, I don't have time for this. You said you got to make time because you ain't going nowhere.
Yes, we did. So anyways, welcome, folks. It is May 11th, 2017. And the next hour or so, both co-host Amy, the HeadHardHatress, and I'll bring you some interesting information and tidbits about the game, the sport, yes, the obsession known as geocaching. So yeah, I have been very fortunate that I only know I believe my brother David and you are the only two people that I know that actually had an appendectomy.
One of my coworkers told me that when he had his appendix out, it was gangrenous.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, do you think you should have gone in sooner? Because really, that's not good.
Right.
So yeah, he had that, and another lady told me that she knew somebody who died from it.
Wow.
Because
yeah, you always get the
like,
horror stories.
Awesome.
And it's like, yeah, let's bring that cheerful thing up.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Glad I'm alive. Thanks.
Yeah. So, anyways, went through it. We got through it. That was very traumatic for me personally, and Amy was a trooper through the whole thing. So, very, very cool. Everybody's okay, and that's the main thing. And again, thank you for from everybody that sent all the well wishes and prayers and everything for us. We greatly appreciate it.
I'm slowly getting back to
normal-ish. I'm just saying, honey. It's all love.
I was gonna mow the grass this weekend, but he's like, "No, you're not."
No,
whatever.
I mean, it's bad enough, and we just talked the whole half hour about all the things that she was going stir crazy, and getting into.
Yeah, but you got to admit, the closet looks a lot better.
Yeah, your side.
Or half of it.
Mine's perfect.
I got to get into your side now.
No, mine's perfect. Thank you.
No,
it's fine. No. Just the way it is.
Organized stuff.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was the whole discussion we had in the pre-show was about wife Amy going stir crazy.
Yep.
And
I told my mom I was going to mow the grass. She said, "You better not."
And she's, yeah, that's just how she is.
I did it just to aggravate her.
Yeah. So anyways, that's the fun stuff that we went through there. And be sure to check out the pre-show and get all the gory details of all the stuff that we went through over the past week or two since Amy had her appendectomy. So you say to yourself, so how can you watch the show live and generally get in touch with us? It's very simple to watch the live feed and join us in the chat room by going to www.geosnippets.com on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We also have all our social media links, including for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel via the geosnippets.com website. And finally, we also have our voicemail line where you can call in your comments, your questions, your suggestions by calling 919-341-9519. Or you don't even have to worry about that, or phone charges as it goes with that, by simply going to geosnippets.com, and on the right side of the screen is our send voicemail tab. Click onto that and you can use our SpeakPipe application and leave 3-minute message about anything you want. Tell us about your adventures, your milestones, things that you've been doing, suggestions for shows, suggestions about or discussion about past shows that we had, anything that you want. Send it in to us, and most likely it will end up on the show. So thank you for all the folks that have done that. And I put out about a couple weeks ago. We ran out of viewer feedback for Wife Amy, which is rare, but it does happen because a lot of people love sending in things about what they're doing, and it gives Amy a chance to talk about stuff instead of you just listening to me all the time. So we actually had from Deborah the following thing, and I believe this is directed to Wife Amy.
It says, "What is the best memory you have from finding a cache that is not the cache itself? Something that happened or you saw along the way." I remember at the Going Caching event in Rome, Georgia. Okay. The caching ferret. You remember that?
I remember.
That was absolutely my favorite thing of the whole event. I'm like, how do you even get a ferret to find a geocache? That's just crazy. That little thing was just as friendly and social, and I thought that was the greatest.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the geocacher that brought it along.
I don't either, but I remember that little ferret on a little
harness. And apparently it has helped find caches in the past.
Yep.
And it was one of those things where it's a constant companion.
Yes.
And it's in that small dog size, so you can just keep it in a...
Smaller than that. It's like a large rodent.
Well, that's actually what it is.
Yes.
But it's made there for keeping things nice, and you could just put it in your coat or what have you, and away you go.
Yeah. That was just the most fascinating thing. I thought dogs they have, not cats, not so much, but dogs, you got geocaching dogs. I get that.
Right.
But ferrets?
Oh, yeah.
That was like the best freaking thing ever.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Awesome. Yeah. So thank you, Deborah, for sending that in.
Ferret.
Not me.
Okay.
I've had gerbils. I've had hamsters. I've had other rodents.
I wouldn't mind having a rat.
I'm not going there. Okay. But it's just one of those things that I'm just not. Maybe I'm just getting old and grumpy, but I'm just not in the rodent way of doing things. You had me at the dragon.
The dragon.
Yeah, the one that we were going to put in the aquarium and turn it into a desert, and
the bearded dragon.
Bearded dragons. Yeah. And go that way. Yeah. That one I might do.
Yeah.
Ferrets.
I still got to warm up to the bearded dragon. I do a bird.
I'd be much, well, I love birds, but a bearded dragon I'd warm up to. My brother's daughter, and I think he actually inherited it when she went off to college, had a rat.
Yeah, they're very social.
He talked about how social and
they
nice
are very social animals.
Never mind. I've just been in areas where
I didn't think so either until I actually petted one and held it, and it just snuggled right up. And
no, there's some things I just don't want to snuggle. I'm just saying.
Yeah, their tails finally got me, but once I touched it, it was okay.
So yeah, anyways, so welcome folks to
we're talking about rats and ferrets. What else you got?
All right, we got the actual poll of the week. And this was out for a little bit, and I will bring this up for Wife Amy. And if Wife Amy would be ever so kind as to go, and I will put this right here. Right there.
Okay. Do you frequent certain geocaches, such like a travel bug hotel, more than once? Note, if not asking if you mark them as found, just visit them more than once.
Right, because a lot of times some people are by certain geocaches that they favor, and other ones like geocaching travel bug hotels, they will come in and either move some that are in there or put new ones in or what have you, and they frequent those particular geocaches more than the hit one, get your smiley and move on. So we put that out, and the results were actually kind of interesting. So Wife Amy, if you would, we had do you frequent or don't you, and she's taking care of the chat
Okay.
room.
And at 52% is no,
Correct.
and 48% is yes.
So half the geocachers that are out there are ones that hit.
It's almost 50-50.
Yeah, it's almost 50-50, which I
Yeah.
found interesting for that. So interesting stuff that
Yeah.
people hit those on a regular basis just to keep things going. I know certain geocachers that they absolutely love travel bug hotels.
Yeah. One of the people in the chat room said he when he drives by the airport, he trades frequently in a travel bug hotel.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
that's pretty good.
you got some folks that like it, some folks that don't. But
Yeah.
hey, that's all preference, and that's part of the fun of geocaching. So yeah, good stuff. All right, we do our poll each and every week. Matter of fact, a new poll just went out, and be sure to stop on by the either GeoSnippits Reboot or GeoSnippits.com. And on the right-hand side of the screen tells all about how you can get hooked up and to participate with our geocaching poll of the week, because we love hearing feedback from you fine folks.
Mhm.
And that's always appreciated. So thank you so much for that. All right, good stuff. Let's move on. We'll get through this stuff, and then I'll tell you a little story about my iPad too. Tonight's episode is brought to you in part by gxproxy.com and gxproxy.eu for our friends in Europe, for cachers serious about leaving their mark.
And also by coinsandpins.com, the best place to get custom coins, geocoins, lapel pins, and patches made. Go through our GeoSnippets links and use the promo code HeadHardHat for a 10% discount. And FYI for our listeners, you can sign up for their newsletter to get notified of when new coins and patches are available for sale. We're also very thankful to all of our sponsors, and if you want to see more of their products, please be sure to go to our GeoSnippets websites and simply click on their logos. Not only do you get great deals, but it helps our program as well.
Absolutely. One of the things I'm a little leery about tonight, one, if you've noticed, we've got our bottom thirds back, and our transitions are working. Earlier in the week, I've had my iPad for 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Never had a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's working hunky-dory. Earlier in the week, I was doing something, and I was doing a test on the iPad and noticed that it just popped off. I was doing, and whatever app I was in, it would just stop. It'd go with that. And it's like, oh boy, here we go. And it ended up being, after all these years, it finally filled up on memory from stuff. It just had an update not too long ago. And the update obviously was too much, because the iPad 2 has been around forever. And I use that as my cart for the music and the transitions that when we do the shows. So I literally did, for the first time on an iPad 2, I did a full reset.
Really?
Yeah, I did a complete reset. I tried doing first where I just did a restore, where it just got rid of everything and then downloaded everything back on. But unfortunately, everything that filled up the memory too much, and it couldn't do anything. So I said, fine, I redid it. I did a complete reset, and now there's only a couple items on the iPad 2, and I've got plenty of memory to do things.
Yes.
But I had to go find the applications I need for doing the show, and then making and hoping I had everything set up for that. And so if something doesn't work exactly right, that's why I blame Amy. So I'm just saying that's just how it is. But
if
yeah,
you missed the pre-show, I stay away from everything
I
in here,
know,
so he can blame me all he wants, but it's not my fault.
So anyways, that's my iPad 2 thing, and let's move on. Yeehaw! Yep. Understanding multi and puzzle geocaches, GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast, episode 201. That's right. That's good stuff. Now, just to start right from the very beginning, because last week we didn't have a full episode because somebody had appendicitis. And because of that, she wasn't quite up to snuff for sitting in the chair for an hour and a half. And I'm actually very proud for what how are you doing, by the way?
I'm fine.
You're fine? Okay, that's good. So I wanted to make sure that everything was good, but I didn't want to just leave you fine folks hanging with nothing. So we actually did what I called episode 200.5. So it wasn't a full episode, but it was something to put out there. And I put out a contest because back when we did episode 200 2 weeks ago, we had so much content and so much things to go through. There was a contest that I wanted to bring to your attention. Mm-hmm. We didn't have time. So I thought, okay, this is a great opportunity. We'll put it out. We'll do a week-long contest, and we'll see who wins this and goes it out. So this is what we had. We were bestowed this. This is the How to Puzzle Cache book that is coveted, and it's written by Cully Long. And the person that actually donated this to us, I want one of these books. We've given these books away. We've had Cully Long on the show before and given books away. I want one for my own. I'm just saying, if you got a Christmas list for HeadHardHat, I'm just saying, feel free. But anyways, this was very, very nicely donated to us from our fellow geocacher, Grey Wolf 85. We want to say thanks to Grey Wolf 85 for literally just wrote us and said, hey, you know what? Can you use this for a prize? And it's like, yeah. So, yeah, that's what we did. And last week, it was very simple. We had you simply send in an entry for the drawing, and we had you send it in to us, and you had till Wednesday to do so. And we did the drawing. Now, I actually did the drawing itself earlier today. And I guess I don't have a drum roll, do I? No. I do not have a drum roll.
You got to get one.
So I guess my high-tech drum roll. Ow. The congratulations the book goes to Jack Bentley, a.k.a. G.A. Rocket Man. And I saw that he's actually was in the chat room or is in the chat room. So congratulations, Jack Bentley, a.k.a. G.A. Rocket Man from Flowery Branch, Georgia. Thus the G.A. Rocket Man.
Yes.
I'm just saying. So congratulations, Jack. That's the book we will send out to you as soon as we possibly can. And thank you for putting your entry in. That's amazing. And we love giving away prizes. That's what we've done for how many episodes now of GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast?
201.
Yeah, so we want to continue to do that and give out prizes because we love doing it. All right, so moving on to the subject of tonight's show, and that is going over multi and puzzle caches. And there is so much material. I think a lot of people that just start off into geocaching do not realize the different number of types of geocaches there are. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got everything for the standard traditional geocache, which is a cache that has a logbook in it. Mm-hmm. You've got your mystery or puzzle caches. You have your Earth multi-caches. You've got Earth caches. You've got all these other ones that are out there. Letterbox, event caches, Cetos, Megas, Gigas, Where I Goes, Geocaching HQ, GPS Adventure Maze, Lab Caches. There's so many other ones that are out there that you can do just, besides just going out and looking for the container hidden in the woods. And so what I thought we'd do is to break down a little bit for people to understand a little bit better about multi-caches, because it's important. And it's interesting. Different parts of the world look at these type of caches differently than they do in the U.S. For some reason, don't know why. We've got clues as to why. Multi-caches and puzzle caches are not nearly as popular as traditional caches. And I think what it is, and it boils down to, and we'll go over this in a bit, the amount of work that you have to do into a puzzle cache or a multi-cache to get your single smiley. Mm-hmm. It's much more easy to just go out for a traditional cache.
Oh, it's a whole lot easier just to go out and find your little thing.
But people don't necessarily always want easy. They want a challenge.
Yeah.
And that's what makes multi-caches and puzzle caches so much
Multi
cooler.
caches, I have no problem doing.
Right.
Puzzle caches,
Yeah, but that requires thinking.
no, it requires math,
And
and I'm not good at that.
Yes, and we'll get over that. So let's kind of go over the basics. What is a multi-cache? These geocaches involve 2 or more locations, with a final location being a physical container with a logbook inside. So there are many variations, but typically ones that you start off at stages or waypoints. You start at the first stage, somehow either physically or related to is a clue that says how to go to the next stage or how to go to the final. You get that second clue and you continue on until you finally get to the final.
Yeah.
The second stage will have a clue to get to the third and so on. So it's literally you start at point 1, point 2 may be the final, may not. You may have to go to point 3, 4, 5, and 6 or more and continue on. So there is a little more travel involved with multi-caches. There's a little more thought process.
If you're geocaching, you're in it usually.
Right.
For the adventure anyway.
Exactly. And that's what these do. They take you on an adventure. So those are awesome things. What is a puzzle cache? If a cache does not fit any other category or is made as an actual puzzle cache itself, it's referred to as it's the catch-all of geocache types. So if it doesn't basically fit any other mold, it's considered a puzzle cache. It's just how it is.
Or if you have to do something to
solve it, right? Now there's different types of puzzle caches that will have. In other words, you either have to figure out where the actual geocache is at as part of the puzzle, or you're shown where the actual geocache is, and you have to figure out how to get the logbook out of the geocache. So there's 2 different ones that are in there that ways of considering for puzzle caches, and we'll go over a little more of that in just a little bit.
Okay, somebody put out a multi-cache in March. It's a 4-stage multi.
Okay.
And already has 5 favorite points.
Yes. Because of the effort. Is you put the effort into it. Congratulations.
Yes.
And it's awesome. The problem with a lot of the American geocachers, they're just lazy. Not into it. Okay, I'll go with that.
Not all of them.
Not all. And we don't mean that. We don't mean it in a bad way.
Not by any stretch, but some people just don't like them. And that's okay.
You want to see a difference? Go to Ireland. Go to Germany. Go to England. They live for multi-caches and puzzle caches. That is their main thing. And traditionals are the ones that, we just had enough time to put this one in.
The Bridges of Central Park is 32 stages over 15 miles of walking.
Yes. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
When you accomplish it, you've accomplished your challenge.
Yeah.
And that's why
what it is. It's a
awesome.
challenge.
Yeah, and they're awesome. They really are. But a lot of people, you got to find 5 or 6 things and only get one smiley. Really?
Yeah.
You went on an adventure.
But what have you seen along the way?
Right, exactly.
Where have you been?
Yeah. So that's all the parts that deal with that. Multi-caches consist of several stage or waypoints. All right, let's see. I'm just going over some of the stuff on my show notes on here. Pros and cons. Multi-caches take you on an adventure as a pro. Con, again, multiple stages, single smiley. What makes a good multi-cache and what makes a good puzzle cache? Multi-caches have stories behind them.
Yeah.
There are it's the adventure, and sometimes you have physical containers you work with. Sometimes you have clues that you can go with to go onto it. Puzzle caches can actually have multi-caches involved with those. Puzzle caches do things like cemetery geocaches, which we love and we are a sucker for, because what will happen is Amy will say, "Ooh, cemetery cache," And I know that afternoon is now shot. It is gone.
It's supposed to be like an hour or two out there.
Yeah, because we'll sit there and we'll go figure out the puzzle part of the cache, find the cache, and like you said, spend the next 2 hours just
walking around
and putting things together with cemeteries.
Making up stories.
Yes. And just saying, okay, what happened with this family or what happened with that person, and all that fun stuff. Math caches.
I'm out.
All right. How do you stop 30 geocachers in their tracks? Give them a math problem. It's just how it is. I've been in there. I have literally sat there, been in a community event type situation where we're all trying to figure out the geocache at the same time. There's 20, 30 geocaches in a circle. We're all going through the different stuff to try to figure it out. The math problem hits and everybody goes quiet. It's like, I got around this.
Well, yeah, but you knew a math professor.
Exactly. I knew a math teacher that I would take going geocaching with me so he could figure out the formula. And I just nod my head and say thank you a lot.
I don't know anybody like that.
So, yeah.
I know people who are good at math, but.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Bring a math teacher with you when you go and do those.
I got to meet one.
Ooh. Yeah, pretty cool. Tour of Art was one that you can get a lot of things with multi-caches as well. We did that in Cary not a few years ago, where there was a whole series of geocaches that you went from one to the next, to the next, to the next for the clues, and did that. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do on what makes a good multi-cache and a good puzzle cache. I think one of the things that you want to keep in mind is that if you are actually going to put out a puzzle cache or a multi-cache, if you do, make it interesting. Give a reason. We always like saying, when you find a geocache, how much the adventure is part of what you're looking for with this. That's what you want to do. Points of interest that makes the person want to go to that waypoint. So if you do have to do 2 or 3 waypoints before you get to your final in that multi, those are worth hitting. Those are worth going to.
Yeah.
To find it, to make that point of interest interesting for people, so that they really are like, wow, I'm glad I did that. So excellent things that can go through that. Let's see. I'm seeing some of the other show notes stuff on here. All right, so we went through that. So how many waypoints are allowed when it comes to a multi-cache? Again, a multi-cache is a cache type that has 2 or more stages that must be found to locate the final container. At each stage, there's a way to determine coordinates for the next stage. The finder follows these coordinates until the next stage to determine the next coordinates, etc., until they get to the final cache. Now, some of the simple things that you can do with this, if you've ever worked with this guy here, I'll bring it up for you. This is a UV flashlight, and it's one of the bigger ones. Actually, it's the biggest UV flashlight that I've seen. We got this at GX Proxy. And basically what this does is it uses and highlights not only geocoins and other things that glow in the dark. It will very nicely highlight that, but also UV ink that you can go through and put in certain areas that has clues. That may be coordinates. It may be a riddle or a puzzle that you have to figure through. But the idea is you would not normally see it unless you use a UV light. Very cool way of doing multi-caches or puzzle caches as well. So keep that in mind. Sometimes it could be as simple as another geocache hidden in the coordinates that you said that has the next information or stage that you need to go to. You can go through, I've had it where somebody will take just, what do they call it? Labels. And just sit there and put the coordinates of labels with a waterproofing label and put it like in the inside of a guardrail or some special spot that they have for hiding, just to get you to get to the next stage. So the more interesting you have with it, the better the multi-cache is going to be for those. Keep it interesting. Keep it into something where people think that they're following a story, things like that. Geocachers absolutely love that. How many waypoints are allowed? Well, it depends on how you do it. When it comes to multi-cache waypoints, the sky is the limit. There must be at least 2 waypoints. So, in other words, stage 1 and the final. But there is no limit to the number of stages that can be in between. Now, the kicker with that is, think of what you're putting the geocacher through as you do this. If you've got, like, one of the people in here was talking where they had 18 stages, 20 some odd
32
stages,
stages was
32 stages over 15 miles. The one thing I highly, highly recommend is that if you are going to put them on multiple stages, tell the geocacher how many they're going to do. That kind of sets the idea for the geocacher. Do I have enough time to do this? Am I prepared enough to do this? And do I want to accomplish this challenge? Especially if you're doing one that's multi stages over miles. I actually had a geocache that was 10 stages that went over 8 miles at one time.
Yeah.
So great to do. Not so much during the eras when gasoline was very high.
Almost $4.
4 or 5. So I'm just saying there are times where the multi stages may not be done as much because of things like that. The economy stating, it's going to be expensive if you're going on this trip. Do you really want to do it? So make sure you let people know what that goes on with that. Usually the most multi-caches, I think in the United States, people, if it's more than 2 or 3, they get tired of it. They don't want to go through the other ones.
For me, it depends on the tour, for lack of a better word.
Right.
What are you finding? Where are they sending you?
Right.
If it's just going from post to post, yeah, I know I'm gonna get bored with that. But
yeah,
if I'm seeing stuff,
right,
and maybe even learning something as a bonus,
right,
then that's, I don't mind it.
yeah. But I mean, usually anywhere from 2 to 6, I think, is about standard.
6, I would be like, okay, when's this gonna ever get done? But
right. But usually, and again, in a case like that, if you've got 6, it should have in the description saying you're going to travel about 2 or 3 miles with this.
Yes.
And go with that.
Yeah.
When the finder gets to ground zero for the last stage, again, another helpful hint for what I would have put as an opinion, may not be yours, but my humble opinion. If you're going to put somebody on a multi-cache and he's going or she's going 2 or 3 or 4 or more waypoints as you're going through with it, don't let the final be a bison in a tree.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying,
make it cool.
If you're gonna make them go through a multi-stage, give them something good to end with.
If I go 5 miles and find a bison tube,
I'm saying, and
somebody
it happens, and it happens. You got to be careful with things like that.
Let people find something cool and interesting.
Yeah, I mean, have a large container in the woods with tons of swag. Make it worth it.
Yeah, paint the outside something neat
or some point of interest that
it's relative to the trail, whatever.
Right. So it's just make it interesting. Don't end with a bison.
Don't disappoint the people.
Yeah, I've had that happen. So yeah,
I don't like looking for bison tubes anyway. So
yeah. Well, yeah, especially in the woods.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I'd probably have something to say about that.
Yeah, tons and tons of stuff. Some other things that you can have between a multi-cache, as far as different types of coordinates that you might want to do for that. QR codes, the Munzie codes that people know. You can use those instead of writing them out and just having that nice little square there. We talked about the infrared paint. Coordinates printed with the label maker. I mean, there's so many different ways of setting up waypoints that you don't necessarily need a physical container. for puzzle caches. Solve a puzzle based on some information found at the coordinates, such as using information on a plaque, or counting the number of certain objects that are nearby, or solving a physical puzzle like assembling objects in a certain way to decipher a code. There are many, many different ways that you can use items to make, and again, that's why we kind of intermix puzzle caches with multi-caches, because you can use both with them. There's been many times where you go to waypoint 1 and it's like the street sign that's over here, use letters X, Y, and Z to help figure out the coordinates in that.
Now, you mentioned QR codes.
Yes.
And I have to bring this up because I just have to, it's how I roll.
Okay.
QR codes, everybody knows that you use those for Munzie.
Right.
In my humble opinion, that is the only place they should be used.
As Munzie?
Yes. Now, I don't think they should be used to find a cache.
Why?
There are lots and lots of people out there who only use GPSs for caching.
Okay.
And there's also people who just don't want to do that.
All right.
Who just don't want to download the app that's going to be required to scan it.
What's the difference if I use a UPC code? Or
yeah, I don't think anything that you have to scan like that
is being legit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with you, and the reason is this.
I mean, you've already got your somebody in there says, I don't own a smartphone. So what's she supposed to do?
Okay, then, and this is a very valid point. This is a very valid point.
You have my opinion.
Yes.
It needs to be something that everybody could potentially find.
Yeah.
And for people who use a GPS, or don't have a smartphone or whatever,
legitimate thing.
Then they should be able to. Then they're just automatically cut out of those particular caches.
Right.
And I just don't think that that's right. That's fair.
I'll let you have that side of the debate or discussion. My thought is technology has advanced as much as it has with smartphones. You may not use your smartphone to find a geocache, but if you want to build your geocaching toolbox up of gadgets and gizmos of things that you use for geocaching, getting a free QR code reader is not a major thing.
That automatically gets people who don't have a smartphone or don't want a smartphone, requires them to go out and get one if they're going to do those. So they still leave those folks out.
Don't have to go for that one. They don't have to go for that. But my opinion in that, that
should be their choice not to go for it, not cut out because there's a QR code.
But there's so many different pieces of technology that's been out for so long now that if people choose not to, great, don't do the cache.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there's so many more people out there that use it now and don't even think about it.
I know.
And away you go.
I mean, I would.
But I think you have a very good point in there for in the earlier days when QR codes first came out. That was the exact debate that people had.
Yeah, and I still
we didn't even have the ability for some smartphones to have QR code readers. Nowadays it's so commonplace, it's like any other app that's out there.
Okay, somebody took a photo of the QR code, went home, found an app online that could read it and return to the next stage another day.
There are other ways of doing it.
Yes. However, I still stand with the fact that that took way longer to find that cache, the next waypoint.
Right.
Because there was a QR code.
Okay. But if you've got 50 geocachers that can blow through this with no problem, and you've got the one geocacher that can't,
why should that one be left out?
Why should that one eliminate the other 50?
I'm just saying.
That's part of the debate, and that's good. That's discussion that should be talked about with geocaches.
That's a good point too. What about caches that require tree climbing or kayaking? Not everyone can do those either.
That's where the difficulty levels are.
That's the difficulty level. To me, that is a different animal, and I agree with you that not everybody can do that.
Right.
I have climbed a tree though.
Yes, you have. I have pictures.
Yeah. But I just don't think that
Actually,
something
what Salty just brought up in the chat room is
a
actually the
chirp
exact
cache.
thing that we were going to talk about is Garmin Chirps. There was, when Garmin Chirps first came out,
Yeah.
only a handful of GPS units made by Garmin could read those.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, the way Garmin Chirps are, it's a little doohickey device that you hide someplace in a tree, in a log, whatever. If you're within a certain amount of feet away from that chirp, it sends out a signal. And if you've got the device that can interpret that
Mm-hmm.
signal, you'll get a text message saying whatever. Also used in multi-caches.
Mm-hmm.
When they first came out, um, many people said, I don't have a Garmin.
Right. But their actual device was their actual device able to be updated? The one that they had.
No, and that's the problem. It was
Okay.
made for a limited amount, and that's why you don't really hear too much about chirps anymore, though they are out there. The kicker is somebody eventually got it so that smartphones could actually read the signal.
Okay.
And so you were able to pick up a chirp signal that way.
Right.
So that was a very cool way of doing a multi-cache because you didn't have to hide it
Yeah.
in certain restrictions. You could hide it anywhere, and people could find and get information that way. So yeah, chirps were another one that it was extremely limited to certain devices for people to use. And in those cases, they had two ways of doing it. If you either walked up to the waypoint and you got the chirp, great. If you walked up to the waypoint, they usually had some other, like a text version that you could find and then go that way to continue on.
Okay, so now we're talking about chirp caches and QR codes.
Right.
And you said chirp caches, you can hardly find them anymore.
Well, they don't use them for the very reason they were so limited. Only certain people could read them, and only certain devices. I think if somebody came out with that like a QR code, every smartphone could have it nowadays and have it work that way. And I'm sure the technology's out there. It would go gangbusters.
Yeah. I just don't like leaving people out of things.
Right. Don't exclude
because they just don't have the phone or whatever, the latest and greatest.
I guess the debate of this is if the limitation of technology is based on the people that can't use it, nothing will ever advance.
I agree, but I just don't see.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get the difficulty part of it with the kayaking and the rope climbing and things like that.
That's a limitation.
That's a limitation, absolutely, but that not everybody can do.
Yeah.
But that's a difficulty.
Right.
You know your limits on the difficulties.
Right.
And terrain. I wouldn't want to be excluded on a cache that I wanted to go for because I don't have a smartphone.
Okay, somebody needs to look up for us while we're doing this. Check out attributes for geocaches. See if there's a QR code. I'm pretty sure there's an electronic attribute.
Okay.
That I think it's a weird color like yellow, if I remember right, something like that, that you can use as an attribute for the cache that you put out that states if
yes. Well, there's one that says wireless beacon.
There you go. That's it. Wireless beacon.
Okay.
So if you have a geocache out there and you've got a chirp on it, then you put out that icon so people know that if you're going to go for it, you're going to need to know the wireless beacon the chirp to use it. Now, I don't know if there's one out there for things like QR codes or whatever, because that's a basic, but that's at least something for folks that know to look for if it has a chirp or not for that attribute.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff.
Okay, so why don't they make a QR code attribute?
Probably
why
because
can't they do that so people know up front?
We can have them write to Geocaching HQ and ask for that very thing.
Yeah, I mean, what harm is that going to cause?
Not a thing.
Right.
And again, that's for people that there may be a need out there that we're not even aware of for people that run into that are, and I don't mean this in a bad way, are
No.
technically limited in what they can use. And if people do use other features that they're not able to use, maybe some kind of attribute is needed for
I
that.
actually work with a guy who does not want a smartphone. He still has a flip phone.
Okay, well, that's I've got different things for that because I'm a geek.
Yeah.
But I'm just
But
saying.
he's not. I mean, he's a country boy, farms and does
Yeah,
has farm animals and stuff like that, and he just is not that way.
yeah, interesting.
And of course I laugh at him, but
All right, so we
anyway.
we digress, but that was an excellent discussion. Very good stuff
Mhm.
to talk about, and that's why we do shows like this to bring out stuff like that. And if you've got certain things that you're curious about when it comes to multi caches or puzzle caches and what's right and what's wrong, let us know. We'll be glad to bring that up on future shows.
Yeah.
There is so much stuff, and we're running just on time right now. There is so many different things that you can keep in mind with multi caches. Waypoint distance. So you might be wondering how far away each stage can be. The answer depends on the type of waypoint that you are seeking. For example, minimums. If there is a physical waypoint, that's a waypoint that has a physical container, the same rules apply as any other geocache. It has to be zero point 0.1 miles away from any other physical geocaching container. So that means literally if waypoint 1 is something that's a node in a bison tube or what have you, it's got to be zero point 0.1 away from any other container. If it's virtual waypoints, in other words, waypoints that do not have a physical container, do not have to have a minimum distance. So, in other words, you could walk to this certain area and say, read the letters from the sign, count the numbers of this, and figure this formula out. That kind of thing, you can do that every 20 feet if you want
Mhm.
and go that way. But if it's an actual physical container or physical item that you're putting in there, then you're going to have to follow the rules like any other geocache for saturation. Um, Maximum, as far as I can tell, there is no maximum of how far apart waypoints can be. There is a cache called East West East
Yeah, I
uh,
won't be getting that one.
that has the first and last waypoints in Asheville, North Carolina, and the middle waypoints in San Diego, California. There's a sister cache to that one where the first and final waypoints are in San Diego and the middle stage is in Asheville. Based on personal experience, most multi caches are designed to have all waypoints to be usually in walking distance,
Yeah.
typically within the same park. Typically, if driving between waypoints is required, it is mentioned in the description, so you can make sure that you read those and go that way. There are many different ways that you can go through and use coordinates when it comes to that, where we've got tons of information that we'll have in our show notes about latitude and longitude and all that, but we don't have the time to go through all that tonight. We might do that on a future episode. But basically, taking the coordinates for a geocache and turning it into a puzzle or including that into a multi stage works very, very great where you have to solve that part of it. And many times, like I said, if math is involved, will make you go gray. So just tons and tons of things that you can do with coordinates and waypoints when it goes. Checking out books like what Cully Long has for puzzle caches will give you tons of hints when it comes what to do for either a multi cache or a puzzle cache. Um, One of the biggest things that you can do for multi caches or puzzle caches, there are sanity checks that you can do to make sure that you are correct. They're basically what a sanity check is, and sometimes this is part of the puzzle cache as well. Sometimes the answer may not be completely obvious. For example, you might arrive at a stage and are asked to use a number found on a sign to solve a math problem,
Mhm.
but the sign is faded and you're not sure if the number is 37 or 81. What do you do then? Sometimes the cache owner helps you by giving you ways to check your answers. And this is how that can work. You can use a checksum, which is a mathematically derived value, and Amy's going to glass over here in a second,
Yep.
that can be used to verify that a given number is correct. Typically, this is done by adding up all the digits in a given number and comparing them to the checksum value. For example, if you have a number like 456, the the calculation of the checksum is by adding 4 plus 5 plus 6, which is 15. It's just a way of knowing if that is correct. Wake up. So again, we have lots of stuff that goes into checking values. Geocheckers are awesome. Some have come and gone over the years, but basically what happens is if you have a puzzle cache or a multi-cache that has a puzzle involved with it, you can go to these websites, look up that geocache, and actually put the coordinates or the value that they're looking for in to find out if you are correct or not. That is going to save you a lot of time, energy, and money. But there is nothing worse than doing a puzzle cache or a multi-cache where the final is mathematically went to figure it out, and you get one of the digits wrong. And depending on where in the coordinates you are wrong, yes, we have. Where in the coordinates you are wrong dictates if you're 10 feet off, 50 feet off, half a mile feet, or whatever. So geocheckers are awesome ways of going through and looking at and making sure that they go. So yeah, there's just tons and tons of things. And the last thing is the great waypoint conflict. Nothing drives a geocache, and they still, after all these 17 years, they still don't have an answer for you. If you want to hide a geocache, there's no other geocaches visibly on the map anywhere near where you're at. But you go to hide the geocache, and the reviewer says, I'm sorry, you cannot hide that there. There is a geocache nearby. No, it's not. There's none nowhere here, anywhere near. If somebody uses a waypoint as a physical container, that gets registered in the geocache itself. So you may have 2, 3, 4 waypoints that you don't even see because there's a multi-cache nearby, preventing you from that saturation point of 0.01 miles and not allowing you to put the geocache there. It will drive you insane, but it does happen. So keep that in mind.
Not a lot, I would think, but
it is when you really want to find and you've got this perfect spot, and then you.
No, I mean, it doesn't happen a lot.
More than you think.
Yeah.
Because if you find this perfect spot, this great, fantastic place you want to put this geocache, it's absolutely what you want, and there's a waypoint 260 feet away.
And somebody else said, "Hey, that's a great place for a waypoint."
Yes. So just saying, it happens. Don't hate your reviewers. They love you and want to be nice. So anyways, that's it for what we'll cover tonight for multi-caches. I hope it at least gives you an extra flavor of all the different things that are involved with multi-caches and why they are so cool. So excellent things to know. All right, good stuff. I think it's time to move on. Let's do this.
Your support helps keep all of the GeoSnippits Reboot shows running along. Sorry, my bad. Please consider making a PayPal donation through the link on our website to support our efforts and your ongoing entertainment. From all of us at GeoSnippits, we thank you.
Absolutely. And please consider it costs money to do podcasts, and we need every penny we can get to keep the shows going. Please, if you go to geosnippets.com or geosnippetsreboot.com, and if you can throw $1, $5, $10, $100, whatever you can do, we would greatly appreciate it. And I know how things are tight for many people. Believe me, we know that as much as anybody else. If you can afford it and can do that, thank you so much, and we appreciate your contribution. If you can't, word of mouth is the best thing that you can do for us. When somebody else puts a poll and says, what's your favorite podcast, or what podcast do you listen to, or you're at an event and you've got new people that are just coming in and said, hey, have you ever heard of the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast? They're great for people that are just starting off for geocaching as well as experience. But that's what we pride ourselves on, as being a tutorial-based show. So by all means, tell people about us. We greatly do appreciate it. And if you can't afford a few bucks or a few hundred or $1,000, whatever, we're not greedy. thank you for that as well. We do appreciate it. All right, let's move on. All right. It is time for the Geocaching Cache Stash. Let me explain what that is. We have some of the best companies in the geocaching world, and quite frankly, they want to tell you, fine folks, about the products that they provide. And so to do that, they send us little geocaching packages of love, and we get to open them up and oogle and look at them and then get all frustrated because we can't keep them and send them off to you guys as prizes. That's how it works. But that's how it goes. We do each week a question. And wife Amy, what is the prize for last week, which was episode 200?
All right. Well, it was 200.5, but whatever. Our prize was donated by Nandy108, a geocaching swag goodie bag consisting of a USA trackable sticker, the Maker trackable, he's going to show it anytime now.
Go ahead.
The Maker trackable tag and a very nice black and white geocaching patch.
All right. And that's this one here.
Any minute.
Any second now. I have to go through the other prizes. All right. So, yeah, we got a really good tag with it. The Maker and the black patch. Very cool. Good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
It looked weird for a second.
I'm sorry.
All right. The question is, the Big Blue Switch souvenir has 2 words above the switch itself.
Right.
What are those 2 words?
Now, the Big Blue Switch was the 17 years of geocaching.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. And there was just that. It had 2 words that went over the switch. What were the words?
Selective availability.
Selective availability. That's what it was called. That's what turned on everything for geocaching.com and everybody else to be able to use GPS units. And that's what was turned on. All right. So now the way this works is we have my tablet here with all the different people that have sent in their results for that, or entries, I should say. And I also have on here is my random number generator that has a number between 1 and the total number of correct answers that we received from the emails. And wife Amy just flipped her magic geocoin. And if the number was 4, it's not 4. We would go through, and if it was heads, we would count down from the top and 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would be the winner. If it was tails, we'd have to count all the way from the bottom up 4 and see who that is. Wife Amy, are we doing?
It is tails.
It was tails. All right. So, all right. If you want to check the list.
Do we have a caching name? Yeah, hang on.
I think we're all set.
Yep, I think we're good.
All right. The winner is the name of the cacher name is Agent Big D, aka Daryl. Agent Big D, congratulations. You won that goodie package. And congratulations. Lots of good stuff in there. I hope you enjoy them. Do us a favor, Daryl, if you would. Write to us and say winner for episode 200. And send us your address so that we can send these out to you. And that way we'll get that out to you as soon as we possibly can. So congratulations to Daryl for winning that really, really cool prize. We all set?
Mm-hmm.
You are so good. Now you might be saying to yourself, hey, I want to win cool stuff. You guys give away neat things every week. How do I win? How? Well, it's very simple. To be eligible to win a prize from the Cache Stash, 1, you got to play. You don't win if you don't play. That's just how it works. All correct answers for this week must be in by May 17th. That's next Wednesday. Email to gsreboot@gmail.com. In the subject line, you want to put Q1. episode 201. So again, GSREBOOT@gmail.com. Subject Q1, episode 201. Put that there. All correct answers will be put in a drawing, just like you just saw. Some weeks for the people in the live chat room, we have a second prize. Sorry, folks, not tonight, but sometimes we do at least once a month where we give away a prize live for the folks that come in and visit with us as we do the recording of the show. Kind of gives a little extra incentive for that as well. But sorry, not tonight. We just did that not too long ago. Let's see. Wife Amy, now we need to talk about tonight's episode.
Mhm.
So what is the prize for episode 201?
It is from gxproxy.com, and it is a UV flashlight.
Oh, for you puzzle enthusiasts, you are so going to want this. This is an actual UV light flashlight. They are fantastic. They are LED. They are very bright. And they're also very useful for telling if an object glows in the dark or not. Because if you put UV light on it, it lights up. Very, very cool. Just saying. But we want to thank gxproxy.com for donating that to that. So what is the question?
The question is, there is a geocaching event known as MOGA. What do the letters MOGA stand for?
Okay, one more time.
What does MOGA MOGA stand for?
That's right. There is an answer for that. Send that in to us for tonight's episode 201, and that will get you eligible for winning that really cool gxproxy.com UV flashlight. So excellent stuff. All right, good stuff. I think we need to wrap this puppy up. Let's do this. All right. Well, thank you so much for stopping on by and sharing some time with us. We greatly do appreciate it. Let us know what you think about tonight's episode, things that you'd like to hear more about, things that you'd like to discuss. Let us know. We love hearing from you. Please consider becoming a patron. Every little bit helps with us to keep the show going. And then finally, tell other geocaches about our show so that they can come and join in the fun with us each and every week, just like you do. And we really do appreciate it.
We want to also thank our sponsors, gxproxy.com and coinsandpins.com, plus our amazing patrons. Thanks to Andy HeadHardHat Smith, and thanks to everyone watching in the chat room. Y'all, please keep those comments coming in.
See you next time, folks. Special thanks to the Southern wife, Amy. We are so glad that you were back and feeling better and not cleaning out my closet. I'm just saying.
I will one day.
No. So thanks for having wife Amy here. She is wonderful as always. And it is so good to have her back and feeling better. All right. Good stuff. Be careful out there, folks. The weather is a little bit crazy here in the States. Just use common sense and keep an eye on the skies. That's the main thing to keep you safe. And we want to see you next week on the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. See you out on the trails, folks. Bye-bye. Please be sure to join us each and every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another episode of the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast, right here on the GeoSnippits website at www.geosnippets.com. The video version of our show is available on YouTube, and the audio version is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Blueberry, the Tech Podcast Network, Google Play, and many of your favorite podcatchers. We love hearing from our viewers and listeners, so please leave your feedback by emailing us at gsreboot@gmail.com. Visit us through our social media sites or contact us via our voicemail line at 919-341-9519 or use our website Send Voicemail tab. GeoSnippits Reboot is a HeadHardHat production and is produced by Amy and Andy Smith. The show is copyright 2017 by Andrew T. Smith. All rights reserved. And clear. All right, good one, folks. Thank you so much for stopping on by. We greatly do appreciate it. And we've got some more interesting things coming up in the show that I think are going to surprise people a little bit.
It'll surprise me.
So we will let more information out next week about that one. And we'll see you then. Have a good one. Have a safe one. Bye-bye, folks.